Kleinsmith is an administrator at the Millard Public School District outside Omaha, Nebraska. And as KY3's Natalie Newman reports, he's taking the reins at an important time in the Nixa School District.
My wife and I, along with our two boys, Elijah and Jacob, moved to this beautiful progressive community 17 years ago, where we raised our family and participated in the process of educating thousands of young people. My time in Nixa has been a quick walk across a short stage, but it's been worth it.
He's the superintendent of Nixa R2 schools. Prior to becoming a superintendent, Dr. Kleinsmith also worked as a principal and teacher. I want to thank all of you for being here with me this evening. The lottery money really goes to schools.
When you ask the question about lottery money, that's like asking us, where's Waldo? It's that mysterious as to trying to figure out how much money and where is it going. Is it going to general revenue or is it coming to the schools? It's a very difficult question, a good one. I would say before my colleagues chime in on that I find it very much a shame that public education has to be propped up from gambling money and tobacco money. We work very hard trying to teach kids what's right and wrong in life beyond the academics, the life skills and social skills, and yet we have to stand up and accept gambling money and tobacco money to run a public school, and I take a little bit of offense to that. So the harder we work in school to teach kids don't use tobacco, don't get involved with gambling, it's like we're cutting our own throat, so it's puzzling to say the least.
That's a fair statement, I'm sure, but that's like saying as a custodian I could do my job better if there wasn't dust on the floor. Hey, dust is part of the job, so is students misbehaving.
Nixa Superintendent Stephen Kleinsmith insists the discipline issues are not unique to today's kids.
Socrates himself stated that the kids were tyrannizing their teachers and disrespecting the parents. That was 2,400 years ago, and you know what? They're still doing that. It's our job to help them become young adults and good citizens.
And Doctor, I was reading one of the reports earlier today about how under this new federal law that the president signed on Monday, it's going to cost your school district 25 cents more per meal, and they're going to give you 6 cents. Where's that money going to come from?
Well, it's coming from our own local taxpayers, but one thing that's not being talked about a great deal is when are we going to get that 6 cents? It doesn't kick in, the reimbursement doesn't even start until 3 years from now. So we're carrying the full bag all by ourselves for the first 3 years, and then maybe we'll get 6 cents on the quarter. And I know what the government wants to do, they want to help us, but I'm not sure we can take much more of their help right now. It's very expensive. This is an unfunded mandate, and for them to try to make meals healthier, that's all fine and dandy, but we have to be able to pay for it. And this is the right direction. Nobody would argue that helping kids eat fresher foods and eating healthier and getting away from junk food is nothing but a good idea. But I would say sometimes moving slowly in the right direction is the fastest way to get there. We need to find a way to do a few things very well instead of many things fairly well.
We want all the kids we can get. Nobody's going to educate them better than Nixa, so that's how we look at it. But at the same time, if the expectations are up here, the funding cannot and should not be down here. In my opinion, it's criminal. Well, I think the hope comes from everyone here today, school leaders and legislators alike, realizing that we're at a point where our expectations for public education are at an all-time high, while at the same time our funding's reaching historic lows. We recognize that. The question is, what can we do with those expectations that the public has with us? Can we move those expectations closer to the lack of funding, thus closing that gap? And I think everybody here today reached consensus that yes, we need to look at both sides of the coin, our expenditures and our funding source. It's interesting that we see such high expectations on education during a time which funding is reaching such historic new lows. And like my grandfather used to say, you can't buy a Cadillac on a Ford budget. Missouri wants the best education program that our country has to hold, yet we're not willing to pay for it. We see that when we see Missouri ranked 45th in the union on taxation. Teachers are ranked 35th in the union on salaries. Administration, I understand where Representative Wright is coming from, but even administration is lagging way behind on pay, as well as a number of administrators.
They go beyond simply setting goals. What's great about this school board is they achieve goals. They hold themselves and administration accountable as we need to be. As an entire board, they do an outstanding job. But as individual members, each and every one has something to contribute, and together they form a wonderful team to work with. They enhance the leadership ability that they've hired, and our administrative team and our entire staff.
school leaders, we are not always so good at knowing what not to do, and I think there lies the challenge. In my opinion, we need to organize an effort to selectively abandon some of the practices and programs and services that we provide the general public through public education and cut back on that, at the same time increasing revenues. And when we do that, the bridge, the long bridge between the historic low funding sources that we have to work with will better bridge over to the new expectations that the public will have for us.
We're the goose that lays the golden egg in most communities. That's public education. And I think it's putting every community at risk when you start jabbing at that goose, because if it dies, your community dies.
Because we are a big family here in Nixa. We have 475 employees, and all of us may have a different role and responsibility, but the one job we do share, and that is accomplishing our mission, and that's student achievement for all. We're making too many things a Republican or a Democrat thing instead of an American thing. Public education, it's America public education. It is for all Americans.